Hello, my dear friends. Always a pleasure to sit down and talk with you. I know there's been a lot of things going on, but I hope you continue to like the videos and hope they're helping you. Because if they're not, call in and let us get you focused in the proper direction. There's so many cool things going on around the world. I'm excited. I hope some peace comes a little more to everyone, and happiness and joy. You have to work for them. And if you notice in this world right now, of course, it's considered in some spiritual circles as the in-breath of God. So things are destroying itself as God breathes and pulls creation back into itself. That's a kind of a poetic way of looking at that. Some of the Upanishads and Hinduism and Buddhism and stuff talks about that. The in-breath and out-breath of God, But it's enough to say that everything is building the individual back again. People are pulling back to themselves. They're not getting so lost anymore in thought. Remember, the tree of knowledge is the problem. Knowledge is okay as long as you keep yourself back from it, where you can use knowledge and to navigate through creation, and particularly on this planet, the knowledge this planet has, because the knowledge this planet has isn't, it's different in different places. So this place is suited for itself, but it also teaches you that you are the main focus of life. You're what gives life life. The only way that the all can experience anything is through its individual expressions. And just consider yourself an individual expression of God. Just like we've created all these things, and they become individual expressions of God by God creating. And it's just endless that way. Cool stuff. Just like the plants, all are expressions of the all. Because remember, the all, the omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, means totality. There's nothing outside of God. So all that you see, all that you experience, and that which you come to understand as yourself, all comes out of God, lives within God. There's nothing that's outside of that. It's all inside. Cool stuff. When you understand that, then you start to see the oneness that all of us are. Just different forms, different shapes. Thank God. And it's beautiful to see that. Important that we understand the beauty of individuality. And everything is its own individual living amongst the many. 11:11, right? So I really do appreciate tuning in to us. I got so many questions here. This one was sent in to us, so I'm going to read it. And here's the eyes we can look at too. So that's pretty good. So let's read this. This is questions. Hello from France. Jean-Michel, male, 43. Have you ever tasted orange jackfruit? I've tasted jackfruit, and I like juicy fruit. But is there a difference in orange jackfruit? Nah, it's sweet as bliss. Oh my God, I gotta try an orange jackfruit. I'm only about friggin' 10, maybe 10 miles, maybe less in places, to being able to grow jackfruit. I mean, I'm just that far beside the subtropical region where you can grow coconuts and bananas. Every time I plant those, they get killed. And it's like, oh man, because I love coconuts. The golden coconuts. Oh man. Now we're talking food, baby. I am trying to understand, how can the kidneys filter the lymph? Well, Hildy's got a nice website. She's, one of the ladies that have been with us a long time. She's just done some incredible things. We've talked about her case before, about her being in bed on my Skype appointments because she was so full of pain and not being able to move, and what she's done for herself. This is true kidney filtration. It really is. However, this is a bit more than what you would normally get. But she went to dry fasting, and you might want to see her website for dry fasting, because she has a nice website here and she teaches you how to do it. And this is it. Eating and drinking nothing at all. She's in a nice website. Let's see if I can get that. Hildy, I should know your website by heart. But look that up and get to Hildy. It's inspiredbyhildy.com. I like that. But if there's ever an inspiration, Hildy is it. This is dry fasting. And look at how much sediment came out of her in dry fasting. This is all acids. Where did this come from? This is metabolitic waste that was stored interstitially. That affects the joints, it affects the muscles, it affects everything. So when you see wasting, what they call diseases, wasting away, arthritises, things like this, no matter what kind, RA, osteo, it doesn't matter, this is always involved. You do not want clear urine, you want saturated urine like this, man. And that's how you know, I've even used 2 kidney formulas, once in a while a kidney glandular. It just takes a little while to get the kidneys hydrated and able to filter, but you also need the adrenal glands on for 2 things, steroids and neurotransmitters, particularly dopamine and acetylcholine. These are vital to that, and we'll go over your eyes here in just a minute. Matter of fact, I don't even know how to get a hold of Drew here. If I could get a hold of Drew to come help me.
Hello.
Hi, honey. I don't have a number for Drew, but could you have him come down and help me for a minute?
Of course.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Sure.
Bye-bye. I got a new phone system. I don't always know how to work it. So let's look at this. Some of the interstitial fluid goes back up to the portal vein. Well, that's what you're taught. But you have to understand that what you're taught about the lymph system allopathically is wrong, 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 wrong. And you have to understand that there's no way the human body will dump. And I have a lot of friends that are professors of A&P, and they all agree with me. There's no way you can dump systemic acids into the blood. Stupid, unconscious, unaware. What they don't understand is the bottom part of the lymphatic system and the other part of the lymph system. It's the same thing as removing the portal or the lymph vessel from the small bowel to the liver that transports fatty acids. Where's that? Used to be there. So there's a lot of things that is stupid, and you just have to understand that. You're talking about a sewer system that is separate, comes together interstitially somewhat, but these are 2 separate, distinct systems. They also come together where else? Spleen. That's how the blood cleans itself. Notice the spleen is how the blood refurbishes itself. But the spleen is also called a lymphatic organ. Correct? Correct. So the waste then from the spleen, where does that go? Not to the venous system. No way do you want to do that because it's a closed house. You don't pee blood out. So the blood system is a closed house. It has to have a way to clean itself, and that's in the spleen. We blame the kidneys for cleaning, but the spleen is a better cleanser for the lymph of the acids out of the blood, because then it's a lymphatic organ too. There is some cleansing in the kidneys, no question, but by far the main cleansing factor of the body is the lymph system itself, apart from the blood system. Vital, vital, vital. You know what? I've got some eyes here, Drew, and what I thought we'd focus on them when I get to that in just a minute here.
I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Perfect. I'm curious about the function of the, oh wow, I've never heard of this one. Pequet's cistern. It is located somewhere behind the intestine. If it gathers fats from the digestion, well, remember that could be part of the transport system from the fatty acids. Because fatty acids, remember, you don't want to absorb lipids into the blood either. Why? Oh, you'll coagulate the blood. So there's certain things you have to understand, and I'm also questioning the degree of absorption of amino acids, because too many absorptions of proteins, which shouldn't have proteins by the time you have proper digestion. But if you don't have proper digestion, any absorption of a protein could be very inflammatory driven when it hits the blood. I mean, it's remember, whenever you start acidifying the blood, that's when you start seeing the inflammation picking up the body's defense mechanisms. And part of that defense mechanism isn't just your your immune cells and all that. It is your lipids, your cholesterols, your calcium, your edemas, all of these other cofactors. Let me see here. But if it all meets in it doesn't. What's the point? Also, if the lymph goes back up via the lymph channel on both sides of the spine, it doesn't, I don't know if it goes up, it comes down. It comes down that way. I don't know if it can travel backwards, but you've got lymphs on both sides of that spine. You've got lymph nodes, and you've got the neurolymphatic points. You've got the lymph going down both. This is why you see so much deterioration of the spinal column or of the vertebrae, and also why you see scoliosis and things like that. Because remember, each side is controlled separately by each kidney and adrenal gland. So what you have then is that effect of one side being maybe more stiff or tighter than another, and you see that more. Tumors grow on one side more, all that sort of thing, from the length of the legs, the breasts, everything else. I guess if the colon is in bad shape, it could press on the canals and prevent the lymph from circulating. Now, see, I think I don't think it works quite that way. The interstitial fluid is simply the collection fluid for metabolitic waste. And of course, cells that have been damaged. This isn't just a transport of acidic waste, it's also a transport of damaged cells. And where do they all go? To the lymph nodes. If you dump it into the venous system, you bypass the lymph nodes. Why would you do that? You can't do that, because now you're dumping 3 pH acids into the blood instead of around 5 or 6. Big difference since your logarithms, 10 by 10, so 3 pH is what? 100 times hotter than a 3 pH. So your 3 pH is going to be, 100 times hotter than a 5. So this is why it's essential you have bacteria in the lymph nodes so that these metabolitic waste doesn't hit your kidneys too hard, doesn't hit your body hard. And you all know what it's like to not filter the metabolitic waste, because the word is called pain. And the more acidic a thing gets, the more inflammatory response the body puts to it, the bigger the pain. And pain is simply acidosis. So I get what you're saying, but you got to remember they're in the old pro charts, and we showed that in level what was that, level 2, wasn't it, or level 1? But we showed that picture we found, that pro chart that we found showing the lymph vessel from the small bowel to the liver, by the way, and it was a transport of fatty acids. So you got to think about up and above what medical doctors think, because these guys are wackos. No offense for not all of them, but the whole system is fraud, and you just can't go with that kind of thinking, because if you do, you can't figure anything out. You have to understand that the allopathic community knows very, 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 very little about the lymphatic system, and that puts them estranged to all of life, because all of life deals with sewage just like it deals with kitchen or fuel. You have all these chemical side byproducts that you have to get rid of here. It could press and go on with that. I'm not sure, but that's always true though. Any prolapsus of the bowels, anything like that, can definitely lay down on anything. This is part of the problem. You can have a tumor in you as big as you want. Not going to kill you. That's not what kills you. Its suppression of vital fluids can kill you. The suppression of heart, the suppression of blood flow, the suppression of nerve flow, on and on and on, absolutely could. But you could have tumors in you, because they're just a pocket of fluid. What kind of fluid's in a tumor? Interstitial blood and lymph. I'm reading a lot and trying to put things together. That might be a problem, because the problem is, and I've done it for 40 some years. Tilla's one of those brainos. He's in school learning, and he's research. And what do you get? Wall. So you're going to find some walls, my dear one, and don't worry about it. Know that the ignorance abounds. This is why there's no remedy in allopathic thinking. You'll be right back? Okay. So So you're going to have to realize that you're not going to find these in books. You're not going to find your answer in books. Get spiritually. Open yourself up. Get out of the body. Start viewing more that way. You'll see more and you'll be educated more in truth. What you read in books is limited to what man has discovered or what man thinks or hypothesizes out of what he thinks. So a lot of it's not even true. A lot of our education is wrong. I mean, go on and on and on with that level of thinking. Keep life and health simple. If you don't, you're going to run into wall after wall after wall. Because we've tried to tear this thing apart. Keep in mind that the University of Virginia just found the lymph system in the brain 2 years ago. 2 years before that, the lady found a new lymph system called the lymphatic system in the brain. Now, you're finding new lymph systems. So you got to understand their awareness of the lymph system is nil next to none. And it's just not that part of their modality. It needs to be a part of all of our modalities because it's the number one system that we're all suffering from. Proof of that, we clean and clean that system up, get the kidneys filtering, regenerate any tissues that have been damaged, and you're well past Wellville. You're vital, dynamic, all kinds of ways. So, yeah. It's a bit hard because I'm still in Hellville and my brain is still not functioning properly. Well, you know the best way to do this is relax, take a ride on the fruits, berries, and melon train, get some herbs to open up the kidney filtration, and enjoy that ride, and then go back and know that what you've accomplished and try to figure what you're studying in relationship to what you just did to yourself. Because the proof is what everybody's doing. You know, Hildy's a great example of someone that pulled themselves out of deep Hellville. And we've got tons of those cases to show you. So you want to see, in the bottom line, guys, it's about the cases. It really is. How do you win a case? And how do you save a person's body that's living in Hellville? And that's what it's about. And so you just have to wake up to that. Concepts and ideals and all this stuff in the academic world is worth about a dime a dozen. You know, we want actuality, truth, what works. And books don't work. We work on people in physical realities, and that's what works. So, iridology is so easy and amazing to learn, isn't it? I love it. Good guy. This is a good guy. He loves iridology. It's easy to learn. It is. And this is why we want the young ones, the 8-year-olds, the 10-year-olds, to learn the eyes. Start thinking about the eyes as the map to the body and how that can show you your weaknesses and how that gives you a step up because you can strengthen those weaknesses. Always knowing that what brings about weaknesses in the human body, what breaks down cells in the human body. And we can all go back to the fact there's only two sides of chemistry and you have to blame one side of chemistry. You're always going to blame the acid side. Okay, we're to the acid side. Now, what foods are acid forming? About all of them except fruits, berries, melons, and vegetables. And you could say some fruits are acid forming a little bit, but for the bottom line, to simplify the whole thing, fruits, berries, melons, vegetables, base, the rest of nature, acid. I mean, you've got some quinoa and millet, of course, but they're still starch. So too much starch then breaks down to acid. Too much complex sugar breaks down to acid. So, you know, in all bottom lines, grains, beans, meats, dairies, all acid forming. Milk has to be base forming, not acid forming, but if you cook it, now it becomes acid forming. The mom, if she eats right, alkaline foods, her milk becomes alkaline. But if she eats acidically, her milk gets acidic. Remember, the flavor of your fluids is mimicking the flavor of your ingestion, of your diet.
People ask about soy.
Oh, yeah, that's another bad one.
Like soy milk.
Yeah. You know, I thought that was funny that I think it was probably Monsanto years ago,
right,
sold that to us health people, trying to get us to sell that because it's a crap bean. We were farmers growing up. My dad had nothing healthy to say about soybeans. He had nothing to say good about them.
Yeah.
So here's a bean that they push on someone. Of course, I know the Chinese like the tofus and stuff like that, but still, really, look at the soy. Probably one of the highest phytic acids, enzyme inhibitors, just a bad bean all the way around. And yet, we'll make all kinds of things out of it. Man will do anything out of crap stuff. You know,
all the time.
All the time. You know, if you want to make a bean healthy, sprout it. It's the only way to make seeds or anything healthy is sprout them, germinate them.
We sell the jars.
Yeah, sell the jars.
Yeah.
Sprout. I used to sprout alfalfa all the time. I ate alfalfa sprouts like it was crazy. In the earlier days, until I went to fruits.
You still do it?
Yeah, I don't.
Still, or?
I still don't.
No.
I don't do a lot of vegetables.
Yeah.
Try not.
You eat more fruit than
I like
vegetables.
more fruit. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Awesome.
Absolutely. Let me see here. He's chewing on Jensen's books. Thank you so much for your videos. Thank you, man. Thank you for watching them. Lots of meat. The food here in France is bad. Lots of meat and dairy. Been to south of France. I believe the French paradox lies in the power of herbs of Providence that is used in cooking and the raw salads and fruits in the summer. I agree. But the past 4 years, I've seen regenerative fibers filling the lacunas of my eyes. Yeah! He's rebuilding his eyes. Look at that. Hey, man. Good job, Gene. Good job. Good job. Look at that. I still have lots of lymph in my intestinal walls and in the brain, and my kidneys still are not filtering. Got to get your kidneys filtering. Despite the fact I'm chewing every day on licorice sticks, eating 1 teaspoon a day of mix of corn silk and milk thistle with some black walnut, and now a teaspoon of ginkgo per day and some. Yeah, I would probably get into more kidney herbs. Parsley, I would dandelion green, really hit that. But real strong, if you want to really kind of hit that, beet juice. Beet bulb juice. Be careful, strong as holy heck on the kidneys. So you could add some dandelion green, parsley, and beet juice and go on a little 3-day, maybe not 3 days, pretty strong. Go on a 2-day fast with that. Just see what happens. Keep it easy with the beet juice because that's strong. I did a 3-day beet juice fast once, just beet juice. Someone bet me I wouldn't do it. So I said, that's a piece of cake. Whoa. Oh, my kidneys hurt. I mean, my liver hurt. I could tell it was really drawing and pulling, but it did me good. But if you put a little bit in with some, that is really good.
Awesome.
My skin is burning like hell. Well, that means right under that top layer, the subcutaneous is backed up, and we're going to show you how much. Well, maybe not so bad. We're going to show you a little bit here. But that's where you burn. Remember, the burn is the acids. Ow! Hot! Ooh! That's what. And when it's inside, not good. Not good to feel burning inside. But we could then put you in a far infrared sauna and see how that burn would go.
You think so?
Well, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, when you add radiation on top of inflammation, I don't care what level, you're walking down danger road.
People ask me all the time on that.
I know, but I don't recommend infrared. Remember the lady's chest wall at breast? What happened with that? Not good.
I don't recommend it.
I don't recommend it. No way in heck. Because, man is doing everything, but the simplicity correct things. All the complexity of stool implantations and urine therapy and all the stuff like that. It's like cottage cheese and what? I mean, it's just insane what man's trying to do to get well because he doesn't have truth on his side. So he's grabbing at straws. Don't have to grab at straws anymore, world. This is the truth. You can run it all you want to the wall. Yeah, detoxification has its ups and downs. You know that. But that's the way it is. Everybody's uniquely different. All right. His skin's burning like hell. I can't sleep at night, so it's pineal gland. So you might want to get a pineal glandular and take a 1 to 2 hours before sleep.
Have him email me.
Email Drew.
Yeah.
Email Drew, and Drew will help you here. Because of the itchiness. Oh, he has itchiness because, he's full. Well, look at his eyes. He's full of candida,
Right.
I've got to take Enemas 2 before going to bed. Otherwise, I fart all night long. Well, my friend, you do have some sulfur. And so you probably have fermentation going on in there as well a little bit. Let's take a look at his eyes here in a minute. I've got those little things down there. We could cut these. Look at this. He's got the summer of 2014. He's got the summer of 2015 and March of 2016. Holy moly.
I can just...
Okay, do that, because I'll tell you, look at the difference that Gene is doing to his eyes. This, I tell you, what great improvement, my friend. Dig in more, but you are getting it. You are definitely getting it. Matter of fact, your sulfur's a lot less. You still have a lot of over acid stomach and stuff, and of course your walls of your bowels are definitely involved, but a lot less. As a matter of fact, you're right. You got healing lines all over the friggin' place, son. Excellent, excellent, excellent. We're going to show you here. Matter of fact, Drew, I need to really get on the other side there so I can point out some things.
Okay, you know what we'll do?
What do you think?
I'll have to cut them.
Okay, you want to cut them?
Yeah.
All right, you want to just scan the differences right now?
Sure.
The first one, second one, and third one, and then we'll cut them and I'll go over your weaknesses. Look down on this bottom set, how much stronger those fibers look. You'll see little healing lines all in these deeper lacunas. You'll see healing lines all over the place. That's what it's taken. Now, obviously, all this thick white stuff, that's your lymph system. All that thick white stuff in that eye. You have pretty blue eyes, but they're almost white with lymph. And that's all mucus and this stuff.
Hold it up again. The other one. Yeah.
See, that white is all this sewage that comes out of the urine. That's all lymph. Between mucus and acids.
Nice.
Okay. Now, if you want to get that prepared, I will finish reading. But I think we have those little things I set down there to help us. I still have cravings, mainly chocolate, sometimes one tablet a day. Yeah, it's okay. Some cheese. I eliminate the cheese, man. And this is fungal stuff. The cheese is by far, I'd rather see people do a little chocolate than cheese. Be honest with you. Croissants, of course, all white flour, all that. Once in a while. But once in a while, who cares? I'm telling you, seriously, if people, you try to get too strict, it doesn't become fun anymore. You know, there's a point where you want to really be strict, and that's fun and enlightening, but then you have to cheat once in a while. Don't let it beat you up. I've been with the increasing itchiness skin problem for almost 2 years now, and it's getting worse and worse. Well, again, I would go on a kind of an extended time of killing fungus and moving lymph a little more aggressive. Doesn't sound like you're filtering well, and you want to get yourself filtering well. You might look up Hildy's website and follow her protocol on dry fasting. You know, it's really good. It's only for 48 hours, I think it is. But, you know, maybe you can get some things going and started like that. And pop these kidneys open. When you get your kidneys popped open, everything is just, you're running downhill now. Because the lymph starts flowing better and just shows you the kidney connection to the lymphatic system, my friend. And just think things out. You know, when a modality doesn't understand something, their concepts are ridiculous, like dumping a pound or two of acids into the blood system. just the very understanding of that ranks stupid. You just that doesn't happen. You know. All right. So I know parathyroid is gone. My toenails, yeah, you just got a lot of lymph. That's just your fungus. And pituitary is not doing well. Let's look at that. I understand more and more the importance of herbs, so I'll try to eat a few more spoons of it someday, every day, because I want. If you can afford it, you want to get you on a protocol with lymphs and kidneys and stuff like that. It'll be quicker than just taking a few teaspoons of herbs. But with that said, you are doing pretty good. I understand. Okay. Unfortunately, I have no spiritual connection. Oh, yes, you do. You do. You just don't realize it. Your spiritual connection is the person talking to me right now. The you that we're talking to. That's the spiritual side. That's you. We're just talking about your physical body right now, but we're talking to you, the soul. You know, you can't talk to the physical body. It can't listen. It's just a very inert chemical body, comparatively speaking. The consciousness, the awareness is you. That's the spiritual side. And so people are, you know, we use the word spiritual, but that's perfect. So you're doing well there. I don't believe in God, nor is this world. Well, you know what? Sometimes it's better if you don't believe in God. But if you want to work with that, not believing in God is just as bad as believing in God. In other words, don't believe either way. Just look. You don't have to believe a thing. Matter of fact, some people have to let go of their religious teachings before they find spirituality. They have to let go. I became an atheist. I let go one time. I didn't believe in a God. I believed in nature.
What about that saying? Let go.
Let go, let God.
Yeah.
But as I started looking around, and I started looking at the awareness of everything, including the plants, the animals, and I just started looking at without the mind, that changed me totally. I saw truth. And that's what it takes, is sometimes to get away from these preconditioned thoughts and images. That's why I say the only way you're going to find if there is a God and what it is if you let go of everything. All your preconceived ideas. Wow, we got to get it. Was that him? Wow. All your preconceived ideas, all your thoughts about that, because these are all conditioned by other people. How can you see truth if what you believe in was totally taught to you by others who can't see God either? See what I'm saying? So to really see it, that's about living in the present moment. That's what this is all about. You shut down the mind. You don't really shut it down. You put it out there. You learn how to call back and use your mind out here. You're here, always watching and looking and being a part of all actions, but not losing yourself in the drama. You have to start becoming the observer of life apart from the thinker. Because if you're lost in thought, you're lost in creation, and you'll never find God or the freedom of that because you're mind tripping. So working in the now, working in that present moment. Jesus taught it, Buddha taught it, they all taught it. Simple to understand, a little more complicated because our mind is in control, and you can't let that happen. You have to be in control of your mind. Well, you can't think in control, you can only be in control. All right. Unfortunately, I have no... Okay, let me see here. I'm thinking of etherogenics, whatever that is, to help me a little bit. It's too long to wait for my pituitary to start working. Well, use a glandular. Use a glandular or, use pituitary herbs, bro. You can use help. You got plenty of tools out here to help you to get going. All right, if you think it, did you know that Gilbert Ling disapproved the calcium-potassium membrane pump theory? Yeah, interesting, huh? Although you mentioned trillions of cells in our body, but we have more bacteria in our body than of cells. Well, yeah, but they're smaller. Of course we got bacteria is much smaller, right? Electron microscope stuff. But bacteria are world's nature's little cleansers. You see all the animals. I have bird feeders. So what I have is I have the squirrels eating with the birds, eating with the mice and rats. They all eat together.
I need another walkthrough.
Yeah, you need another walkthrough.
We need an update.
Yeah, you need an update.
I don't know if some people... Not everyone has seen the first botanical
gardens. Yeah, you have to come out.
We're going to do another one.
Oh, let's do.
When you're ready,
let's do.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Especially, well, we didn't have a freeze, so all the flowers are in bloom big time everywhere.
That's why I want
everything's in bloom. The citrus trees are in bloom. Yeah, we got to do that.
Yeah.
So I would say this: be careful about over intellectualizing health, because that's when you get lost, and everyone that does is lost. Keep it simple. Understand that health isn't something we should be going to college and learning about. It would be something you're doing naturally by eating the food your body is designed to eat. That's where it all went wrong. So now we have to fix some things, and thank God the herbs are popping up all over the place to do just that very thing. All right, so let me see. We are nature's symbiotic creation. Of course we are. Man cannot forget that, but all things are. All things come from the one. So even though things appear to be the many, they're just the one expressing itself in the many. If you can get that, you'll have more happiness, joy, and nirvanic experiences in life, because you'll be pulling in to God consciousness, into that which exists. And there's no definition to that experience. The mind can't define something so intense, something so... there's no words. There's no words to define that. Be well, my friend. Thank you so much, guys. I didn't read everything here. to see about botanicals in France. We've had great herbalists, and I know we can replace your herbs by the herbs we have in France. Excellent. Just know what herbs you're looking for, what systems you're looking for. Kidneys, lymphatic herbs, which are the cancer herbs. You're looking for all kinds of herbs for different things. The endocrine gland herbs. You want herbs to clean the bowels up. Oh yeah, I mean, you really want to look at the systems that you're going after and get herbs for that system. Formulas are, to me, much better than single herbs because you got a lot of buddies working together. It's not so much how much chemistry. Homeopathics shows that, but I don't believe in the essence of it either. I like chemistry, but over chemistry, no. Synergistic chemistry, yes. So a bunch of us together can do more than one. And so you put a few herbs together, buddies together, they can do some work. Can't they, Drew?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right. Did you know, too, that within college fibers, composite of 3 strands, they've found cerebral spinal fluid? Oh, yeah, baby. Let me tell you, they haven't begun to learn what all the cerebral spinal fluid is for. We do know that it's hooked to the lymphatic system, but remember, there's the lymphatic system with the triangle at the base of the spine. They will find that. When they do, you'll know that I first said that. Let me see here. Source book, Energy Medicine by James Henneman. He talks about the living matrix, our body as a semiconductor, liquid crystal, even the ability of the body to perform superconductivity at body's temperatures. Well, I mean, this is, a lot of people don't realize that we are electrical beings. This just is a chemical world with it. You know, when you leave your physical body, you'll find your bodies from here on are more light bodies. The cocoon syndrome, right? But this body is a very chemical body. But chemistry is simply frequencies of electromagnetic energy. So we still are going back to conductivity, to electricity. But let's go back further than that. What is electricity? Consciousness, intelligence. Oh yeah, quantum physics. And you will learn more and more that what all this is simply awareness expressing itself in electrical currents. And it's just the way it is. And then, of course, now it's stepped down into a world at this level. It is now mundane chemistry. But we want to work from the highest levels we can and still enjoy this world with our bodies and play with that. All right. So very, very true, man. Very true. People have to learn that. That's why electrolytes and things like this, the different metals conduct electricity better than things, you know. And it's just all involved in that whole. This is the electrical world. It all is. But again, electricity is awareness at all, even the microbial levels. Awareness, consciousness. Everything has awareness, but it comes out of awareness. You can't define God as structure because it's formless. So there's no structure in God. The illusion of duality forms the illusion of structure. You know, there's nothing solid. This desk only appears solid. That's not solid. There's spaces between all atoms, guys. Same things appear solid to the human condition, but it's not solid. Everything is fluid, and everything is crystalline at one level or another. So you're doing good. He started a health blog. I've subtitled your video on the Great Lymphatic System in France. Thank you, my friend. Love you, man. Be well, my friend. You're a blessing. I love you, too. This guy's a good guy. Name is Jean-Michel. Michael. Anyway, love you. Thanks for this. Let's go over your eyes, my friend. Let's say that we're looking at the right eye here. Is it coming out right here? Is the right eye. Can you see this? Okay. All right. So let's take a look at this eye here. See all this thick white stuff? Oh, that's even better.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's even better. That's even better, Drew. See all this thick white stuff? This thick white stuff. All this thick white stuff, Gina, is your lymphatic system. Now, this is an improvement over the first eye, which this is the first eye. See the difference? Look how he cleaned out this drug deposit here. This is the hip area. So he's got a lot of improvements. His body responds real nicely. So this is even a big improvement a year later. And he hasn't been full bore. He hasn't been all raw, all fruits, berries, melons. He hasn't done the herbs at the level you need to do. So you imagine taking someone like this and doing that. Now let's take a look at a couple of things here. This is back here near the cerebellum. This looks more like the medulla and the right ear. So that's a weakness. It could lead you in some equilibrium, but this is real thick lymph right up here in the cerebellum, man. And that's in the back of the head, real thick. So you have to be careful there to having problems. Okay, now, bronchial trunk. These are all these littles are outside the bowel wall or bronchial trunks, but some of this is the bowel wall. So you have a little ballooning here of the bowel wall, affects the right chest area, but you see this thick white rope around the bowel wall. This follows the bowel wall. This is in the bowel wall. This is the lymph system in the bowel wall. Look at all these little pocketed areas, and this is in the small bowel. These little pocketed areas, diverticulums in the small bowel, they need to be cleaned out. The GI tract is one of your definitely karmically more weakened areas. Your GI tract is something you need to work on here. We're looking at parathyroid. Well, this is probably tonsil, but here's a parathyroid and throat stuck in here too. I'd take a look at my case and look at parathyroid issues. Right here is probably the pineal gland, so that's the ability to sleep or not sleep. That's a pretty good genetic weakness there. It's probably parathyroid. You want to double check that. You have a little pituitary going on as well. Right here's a little throat weakness going on, maybe a little upper spine, a little upper T-spine right here with a lot of inflammation. As we get down now, we're going down to the low lumbar spine, and of course that's your kidney vertebrae, and then the coccyx, and then the bladder. So tailbone, lower back, bladder here, prostate. Big time. So you want to really work on this. You got kidneys here, you got prostate, lots of inflammation in the prostate. All of that sort of thing can show up here. This is the right leg. Even though this is a big lesion here, it's fairly open down here, but it is a weakness of the right leg, and it's got a lot of lymph involved with that, so be careful with that. You'll see weaknesses in that leg, but you got pretty good genes. A lot of the issues is in the gut area. You'll see the sulfur there a little bit, the yellowing there. Some yellow, subacute, but I think looking at your older picture does give us some hints of sulfur. Now let's look at the left eye for a minute. Okay. Thick lymph up in the sinuses again. This is up in the brain area, Gene, so you have to be careful there. Getting up here with some upper circulation and brain and nerve, heal this up. Another big medulla next to the cerebellum, left ear right here. That's a big one. So these can affect your equilibrium and dizziness, particularly equilibrium. Then we get into the, this looks like outside of the bowel, so this is probably going to be the left shoulder area here. Heart-wise, you look pretty good in that area, I'd say. I wouldn't worry about that. This is a pretty big one here. This is near the chest wall, but this is close to the spleen. Hard to say. Hard to say if your spleen is involved a little bit, but there's healing lines all through this in here. This, even though there's genetics in this area, you got some good healing going on. This will all sew itself up real nice. Don't see a problem there. Even that left leg, groin. I mean, you got both bilateral leg weaknesses genetically. Kidney's not so bad, but look at this left kidney. Thick with lymph, thick. When you break that loose, you're going to look like Hilty's cup. Thick with sewage in your kidney. Just stagnation there. Rectal wall. Got to be careful with the prostate in here. Now the bladder. So here's a possible, and again, I'm not mapping these out for you, so I could be just a little off, but there's bladder, prostate, that sort of thing. A little mid-back maybe. And then back up to throat and parathyroid gland. So I think you're doing really well. I mean, you really show. Now let me show you his a year later eyes to show you the difference. All right, so while you're focused on the left eye, let's look at the left eye a year later. Look at the differences. If I can just hold one above the other. Can you get that? Look at the differences. I mean, these are tighter. This is all tighter. A lot of this mucus is out. Still heavy in here, though, but you're well on your way to Wellville. You're breaking down this big lacuna that's almost open. lesion, you're breaking that down, getting that real done well. Heart's getting stronger. You're doing real well. Your body's responding to what you're doing. And that's the beauty of it. He's got in his left eye, he's got healing lines all over the place. There's left eyes and healing lines in these lacunas everywhere. But look how small your pupil is. So it does show acidosis and stress. But remember, your eyes are beautiful, but all this white and yellowish stuff needs to come out. You're thick and lymph. You got a lot of lymph work to do. Your lymph nodes are swollen up here, down the right chest wall and in the lower lobe of the right lung. Thick lymph in the chest wall of the right side. But you're exposing and opening all this up. Interesting. Interesting how you're even changing the nature of how this looks. Look at the difference. So really doing a good job. This guy's really doing a good job. All right. There you go. Thank you, Jane. Hope that's helpful to you. Yeah, I'll put this together and then... All right. All right. Thanks.
Those lacunas tightening up.
Oh, did you see that?
Man.
He did a really good job. That's really looking good. And imagine if he put all his focus on fruits, berries, melons, and the herbs. I mean, Gene, your body could be like unreal. I mean, it's amazing how well you've done. It took him about 2 years to do that, which isn't bad. I mean, he's done really well. It really looks good, man. But you want to get after that GI tract and lymphatic system. Those are the ones that gets us every time. This is an urgent one I want to read. Excuse me. This is from Paula in South Wales, UK. Thanks, Drew. Appreciate it. I was diagnosed 6 months ago with limited scleroderma. If you've ever heard me talk about scleroderma, let me tell you this. If you have been diagnosed with scleroderma, you want to do everything you can to get yourself out of Hellville, because that is one of the issues of the human body that will take you into serious Hellville. You don't want scleroderma. I've never failed on a case of scleroderma, but you really don't want to try when you get into these deeper levels, because you will scar and it'll choke you to death. It just literally. Scleroderma is not a fun thing by any stretch of the imagination. I've been feeling very run down and fatigued and finding it very hard to look after my 3 young children and my husband, who has an autoimmune disease. Remember, there's no autoimmune disease. I create these problems. I was having many sleepless nights nursing my baby and worrying about my husband when I began experiencing shortness of breath and palpitations and the shaking feeling in my body at night. Yeah, so you see the neurological connection to this. You know, when you start to shut down your nervous system, this is exactly what you see. Whether it is, of course, you know the adrenals play a big role in this, my dear, but you can see that, and of course you just had a baby, so you have to also think about parathyroid gland and calcium issues, and the calcium role of connective tissue and of nerve transmission. So there could also be a little link here, and you'll want to always fix the parathyroid and scleroderma. Real important to do that, because that calcium can be used for a lot of things, particularly in the closing off and the advanced scarring of the body. And also you want to clean up your GI tract, you know, because your nerve ganglia for the autonomic is right here in the stomach solar plexus. which yields shortness of breath and palpitations. But they're all controlled by the adrenal glands. You could have some cerebellum issues as well, of course. This took me to the doctor and to blood tests which showed limited scleroderma. Glad you used the word limited. Since diagnosis, the skin tightening has rapidly taken place on my face, and I have developed lots of broken veins on my face. I find it hard to look at the mirror now. No, and you want this. This is a serious friggin' thing. I've always talked about the seriousness of scleroderma. So you need to get on that parathyroid with the bones formula. Go after that. Matter of fact, you really want to link up with one of the counselors here and get some help, honey. If not, you shift your diet to all raw, and in about 2 or 3 weeks, shift to fruits, berries, and melons only. I'm dead serious about this one. You're not. You see what it's doing? Starting to tighten already. Not good. Choke you right off. This is not good. It's not a fun way to die either. So no. You're a mama with babies. The broken veins, see all that? So you got to go to the parathyroid. You also got to boost that brain and nervous system. So you got to go up with upper circ, brain and nerve, vital, go into the adrenals, the kidneys, get that lymph moving, because acidosis is very much a part of this scenario, as it is with all cases. I have had a chill in my spine all winter and cold hands and feet and puffy fingers. See, so your thyroid's down, your puffiness, your edemic, which is high acidosis. Your nervous system's starting to crash. Your calcium levels are low. Skin tightening on my feet too, and acid reflux. I used to have tummy pains. See what I'm saying about the stomach and the solar plexus? It's linked to that. You want to go to that. You have tummy pains after eating. See what I'm saying? But they subsided when on an autoimmune diet. Forget the word autoimmune. Pooh! You want fruits, berries, and melons, baby. I'm telling you. Forget autoimmune diet. Forget anything that allopathy would even think about telling you about this one. You don't even want to go there. This one's not one. You see your skin tightening all in your body already? And it just gets a whole lot worse. Not to scare you, but to scare you into thinking, break loose from traditional thinking. They can't cure crap, especially scleroderma. And you want to turn this around real fast. I have been getting more sleep and the palpitations have stopped, but I still feel short of breath. Absolutely. Neurological. I've told my chest x-rays is clear. Big deal. Your chest x-rays can show clear. You don't show acidosis by x-rays. That's the thing. What are they trying to find? That's their problem. They're looking for a mass or something. Okay, so you didn't see that. What else can it be? There's only two sides of chemistry. And what system dominates interstitial fluid? Lymph. And it deals with the acid side of chemistry. How simple, how straight, and how on point. I have small lungs and low lung volume, and I'm waiting on the results of an echocardiogram. Think neurological system to breathing and to heart. That's not an echocardiogram. Think neurological, think adrenal glands, think neurotransmitters. Check your blood pressures. Check your adrenal function. I have extreme pain in my neck and shoulders. And what side of chemistry does pain come from? Acids. So you see what system you're involved in? Of course, you're not involved in the blood system. You're going to turn that around. It's a blood system that you have to use to get to your lymph system. And start working in neurolymphatics. Hot and cold, compresses to the back. Get your kidneys filtering and your adrenals up. These are the things that are must-dos if you want to win this game, because this is a bad game you're in right now, not a fun one, and most people lose it. They don't do this. For the last 4 months, I switched from paleo. Do you think? How fast do you want to switch from paleo, honey? That's 2 years you've been on paleo, and look what's happening to you. See your symptoms rapidly increasing? Protein. No. Paleo thinkers, drop the paleo thinking. Wrong anyway. We're islanders. And get this taken care of. You see what's going on with the increase of proteins? Now you're starting to really kick it up. You're starting to feel an acceleration toward this. Yeah, I'd drop paleo real quick to an autoimmune protocol diet. No. Your diet needs to be away from all proteins. Fruits, berries, melons, occasional salad, okay. and now know I need to do raw vegan, and I'm currently on a juice fast to kickstart it. Yeah, smart woman, Paula. Got to do it, honey, because you're in a serious need. Don't mess around with other people's belief systems. This one is no time to play games. Get this, see how fast. Get this done, hon. And talk, think about parathyroid in the bones formula, or calcium, which would be through superfoods. You don't want to supplement calcium. The other thing is neurological, adrenals. Clean up this gut. Notice the stomach pain? That's right in the nerve ganglia as well. It's probably why you're seeing an acceleration of that. Proteins in the gut only acidifies the gut more and brings down the gut and solar plexus even more. So you want to pull yourself away from what you thought was good and get into the fruits, berries, and melons. This one you're going to have to drop your concepts and go for it. I pray that with your guidance, we'll get you. We'll get you, honey, because this is important, but you got to be strict. I won't lie to you one little bit. This is a strict case. And I think the readers get a good sense when you say your face is starting to tighten. It'll tighten until it just squeezes you off. You'll scar everywhere. You lose your sight. I mean, it's not even a fun thing to talk about. Well, we'll get you healed, though. I'm not working on the moment as I feel too unwell, and I hate putting this extra financial stress on us all. But sweetheart, let me say, this is your life. You're not around. You're not a mama anymore. There's no family anymore that you know of. So, number 101, I don't care what your husband's dealing with. You're dealing with a rattlesnake, and you got to win this one, because this rattlesnake will take you down. So you want to focus on mama, and to your husband, you got to focus on mama here. This one is not good. Let me tell you, and it can be accelerated. So you want to focus on this one. I'm very familiar with Scleroderma. When will this end? It'll end when you get yourself focused on the right path, and take you about 6 months. You'll get out of trouble quicker than that, but still, give yourself time to get this taken up, but you'll get out of it quicker than that. It's ironic, as I've always been the healthiest person I know, but you've been on a paleo diet, okay? And you don't know what your eyes look like. And you might have felt healthy, but remember, we all feel healthy and good till a certain point, and that's when it hits us. Like you're doing good until someone hits you upside the head with a 2x4, and it's generally your body that does that, and then you suddenly everything starts going wrong, and you're going, well, how can that be? It's been building. That's the funny thing about this. It builds and then whack. That's just how it is. And that's what you see out there. That's what's going on. So that's the beauty of the iris analysis. And that's what Gene is saying. The beauty of the iris analysis is that you can see ahead of time your train coming down the tracks. And that's why I really believe in everybody learning that. Also, you say here, I know and have always done my best to feed us all well. But your best is based on propaganda and concept that you bought into. So you want to stop back and think about a little more science thought. Think about the human body, how it's designed. Understand we weren't raised in caves. Only when we migrated out of the islands did we seek shelter in caves. We created that. We weren't put in that. So you have to take a look a little differently at the Homo sapien and the species the Homo sapien is. Look at the primate. There's no question we're close. And of course we've been called 98% identically genetically, but we're a much more refined species. Thank you. Give us a little more of that. So we should even be eating more pure. Better still. Nope. We eat like billy goats. Or worse. Hogs. They'll eat anything. I need to do whatever it takes to get better, to be around for my 3 beautiful little children. Are you kidding? You got my 100% power and blessing. You know that's true. But you've got to follow. Because all I can tell you is, very familiar with it, cured a lot of it, but this is nothing to play games with. Let me tell you. They all need me so much, and it's killing my husband seeing me so unwell. Well, you're more than unwell. You're more than unwell. This will take you out, sweetheart. This will take you out. So you got to stop this, and they don't know how to stop it. I pray that, tubes in, I pray that you, yeah, it will, honey. Also, I tried taking Gotacola as I heard this could help, but it left me with the most extreme headaches. Now, you need a whole program. You know, I'm just going to treat this. You don't treat scleroderma. You don't treat these things, or you'll go down, hon. You're going after full body regenerative detoxification because you're not, one, you're cleaning, and two, you're removing the acids, and three, you're regenerating the tissue, including the neurological tissue, the parathyroid tissue, the adrenal tissue, the kidney filtration. These are all essential to win this one. And so I hope you do well with this, sweetheart, or call and have one of the counselors hook up because you want to put a little effort toward this one. We can see what we can do to help you in any way, financially, but this has to be handled. I don't know how to overemphasize that to you. I don't want to overscare you, but you gotta take care of this one, my dear. All right? Paula from the UK. This is from Kathy. I have quite a few blood moles on my body. I see those on people. I see those on people that are extremely acidic, and I see those on people that have cancer in their body, what they call cancer in their body. No doctor can tell me what this means and what causes blood moles. I was wondering, because remember, moles are right down into your bloodstream. Oh no, those guys are looking. You know, when you go, especially into the lymph system, you ever kill a mole with black salve? Look how deep the tentacles are. Yeah. You know, when you have people feeding on you parasitically, and the blood moles, I don't know too much about them myself. I know one thing, they'll fall off. As soon as you go after detox and you go after parasitic kills, they'll fall off. See them all the time. And your skin tags the same way. You know, all types of parasites grow on us at all types of levels of things. And of course, some pull the blood right up with them because they're, you know, just like a mosquito. Ugh. I was wondering if I should use the drawing salve on them. You wouldn't. Well, you could. I would use our drawing salve on it because you don't want to get too strong. If not, we have a formula with Canex, a little stronger. But I'm making my black salve a lot stronger. Plus, could you please go over the different salves on your YouTube? You keep talking about black salve, but when I went on your website of products, I only noticed a drawing salve. Are these two salves the same? Well, black salve is mainly black. That's why we call it black salve. It's predominantly bloodroot, a few other things. Different people make it differently. Some put poke root. You know, there's some put some other things in there. But there is a book on the market. I think I showed you on one of the YouTubes about black salve. One lady did write a book on black salve, showed you the different black salves, including the Hoxie formula and stuff like that. Now, these are all types of drawing salves. You get a real strong black salve, you really want those for tumors, bigger tumors inside the body. You know, 1 or 2 centimeters or bigger. Your smaller things, you want to use a lighter black salve. There's a Can-X, an Indian formula that we have in here. It's a little stronger than our drawing salve. Our drawing salve is a minor drawing salve. Wasn't supposed to be made. I really want a stronger salve, so it's more for mosquito bites and things like that. You get up to skin cancer, moles, you can get the Can-X, or there is a skin black salve from Amazon.com. And on Amazon, they have all the black salves. We don't sell them here because you can buy them on Amazon, and I don't make one yet. There's too many of them out there so far, so you want to rethink that. I don't know if I would use a black salve on a blood mole. I would definitely prefer to go in, clean my lymph system, and use a parasite M and G on the internal side and get rid of them that way. Might be better. But you can use a lighter like Can-X or a lighter black salve on moles all you want. Easy to freeze them because black salve is going to pull. And you can, depends how big that mole is and how deep it's gotten into you, could leave a hole, a little bit of a hole there, or a scar there. But you can use these salves for anything. Now I have a burn salve. I love my burn salve because that's for anything. Burning, everything. You poke something in the eye, you can rub it in the eye. It heals the eye real nice. I find it interesting that the FDA doesn't like oils in the eye, and yet oils is very healing to the mucosa. Very important. I stuck my eye in one of my plants, went right up in my eye, and I used my burn salve, healed it right up. It was the only thing that made my eye feel good. You can use these beautiful salves anywhere. They're internal herbs, so you can use them anywhere. This idea that the pharmaceuticals and the FDA, there's some kind of a purity thing and bullshit crap like that, it's all hype. all hype. You know, these guys are into worlds way out there that no one even knows. I mean, they're so far out. I don't even know what to say about it. You know, the killing machines is unreal. But yeah, and then I've got the Heal All salve, which is a little bit of a drawing salve. It's it and the burn salve are different salves. Burn salve is for all the way up to third-degree burns, any type of burn, but also healing. Just good for healing. Comfrey, Golden Seal, real good healers. And so a lot of that anti-inflammatories like marshmallow and cyprium, good stuff, you know, good heal. The herbs are so good. They heal, they're just so good. You never want to be afraid of herbs. Yeah, you've got your lymphatic herbs, they're real strong, like poke root, blood root. They're toxic in high dosages, so you don't want to do too much of those. But in a formula, they work beautiful with their cohorts. They're friends of other herbs, and it works out well. You know, there's not a lot of high-level healers on this planet that understand how to use herbs at these levels, so sorry about that. But they play with those salves a little bit. They're fun. But the big black salves, be careful. You only want to use them when you're going after a larger tumor, like a golf ball or bigger, maybe a little smaller, maybe a big marble type. But you don't only use but a little bit of black salve, maybe the half of a dime or the head of a dime, depending how big a tumor. You've got a tumor this big, then you might want to use the size of a dime or a quarter. But you don't want to put black salve all over the breast. Let's see if I have a picture of that lady who did. Yeah, I don't see that too much. She put it all, black salve, all over her breast. Of course, it irritated the breast. And of course, that goes away, but still, it irritated her whole breast. You only want to put a little bit where you want to draw. It won't draw anything that's not there. So put it that way. If they're worried about that, it doesn't draw what's not there. And if there's no real cancer to it, it won't draw. It won't pull a lipoma. It won't pull a fatty tumor. This is from Denise. If we have bad gum recession on a few teeth, will the gum tissue regenerate and grow back? If you get your lymph cleaned up well, absolutely. Covering the bone and roots again and the recession stops, absolutely, but you want to stop the recession first. You know, not a lot of people regenerate their mouths, so I haven't seen a lot of that, to be honest with you. You guys are the premier group in this world, on this planet, that is showing the world how you get well. So some of the things that I have not been privy to seeing is only because it's taken me a lot of years to get to this point, guys. But I'm giving it all to you guys because you guys can take this way out there, which will refine this level of thinking and show that a lot of these things can be done and more people doing them. Because, you know, one guy out there is limited in my experience of the people I've seen, even though we've seen an awful lot of people. And we've seen an awful lot of incredible stuff. There's still a lot more incredible stuff to show the world. So you all are part of this tremendous move to show the highest form of healing this planet has ever been introduced to. And the proof is what you guys have shown the world. So take your rightful place. The world owes you a lot. And you just, you know, enjoy your divinity and your beauty. You know, take that on, because each and every one of you, even if you're 8 years old, are beautiful divine beings. You're only using these bodies, and I've told your parents, all you parents, your babies are not babies. They're only in baby bodies. These are major souls. You could be bringing in a master soul, and it has to go through the baby bodies. So never think that's a baby you're talking to, because far from it, far from it. Now, if teeth have acid wear, they will grow back. We've seen that many, many times, absolutely. And you're right on with that acid wear. I love how you said that, because you're right, Denise. Acid wear is exactly what it is. Good point. If the acids have eaten away the enamel, with the enamel, absolutely. Absolutely. I have 2 upper teeth. Now, you want to focus on cleaning your lymph system, sinus fed, cleaning down below, the esophagus, you know, getting the gut clean, getting the sinuses, having cold and flu-like symptoms, candling the ears, getting all this cleaned up is essential. That's number 1. Making sure the parathyroid is working, number 2, because you've got to utilize calcium to fix the teeth. So that's important. I have 2 upper teeth, roots exposed from gum recession, and thin enamel. Yeah, you know, that's where you... But we can have genetic... Now, because of this extensive genetic passing, we could have genetic weaknesses in these areas, which would make them show more than its cohort that's not genetically weak, but the same diet, lifestyle hitting it. You know, nowadays, we have genetic weaknesses in the teeth, everywhere else, because we're dealing in cells. And the cell is a genetic pass. The cell is a conscious little being. It knows so much, it's unbelievable. Remember, all of life is recorded in the cell. Pretty cool stuff. All of life is recorded in the causal worlds. And each cell is linked to the causal worlds as you. Everything is linked to the causal world. Can't get here without coming through there. And then, even showing black spot on them. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, you got to do some detoxing up in the head area. And remember, this is the hardest place. Between this and the rectal, those are 2 hard places to get to. Will this correct itself, or do I need to either get gum surgery to remove, to cover roots with other tissue? I wouldn't do that first. I'd really try to get myself regenerated. You got to do it anyway, because how are you going to stop the tooth breaking down if you don't stop the acidosis and all of that? So use your pH papers. Make sure if your mouth's always alkaline, you use your mouthwash with baking soda if you have to. Always make sure you maintain an alkalinity of the mouth. You've got to get interstitial, though. All your interstitial inside around the cells, you got to get that all back to base and moving to regenerate the teeth and enamel. That's just obvious, because this is true with bone, this is true with liver, this is true with whatever. Unless you get lymph moving, how do you regenerate? In an acid medium, you're not regenerating squat, and if you are, it's real slow. It's only because you're powering it up with herbs and other things, limited in its scope. So, really hit it hard and get it good, sweetheart. And you might see a little bit of loss yet and detoxification. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast sometimes, but it will rebuild, guaranteed. We see this all over the place. Yeah, I would do that before I get crowns and veneers. Get fixing the real cause of this, because you only have a couple, and don't get too crazy with that. Is it okay to cover up the acid teeth? I don't think so, because covering up is hiding the truth. And it'd be okay if you got everything fixed and the veneers was okay and everything. And you just remember, you've got interstitial fluids that feed the cells, but I still say there's some breathing going on. So let me know how you do on that. I'm going to take a little break here. Let me see here. Hildy, we did good with you here. I want to keep your stuff here. I'll have Chris return this to me. Okay. Now, let me see what else we have here. I haven't forgot about you, Mattis. I haven't forgot about you. I'll be calling you one of these days, my young man. What's this one? I'm worried to see. I can't pronounce your name. I don't know why I've carried this around. I'm worried about, because lately when I wake up in the morning, I see my hands and fingers swollen, only the fingers. Well, that's edema, and of course that shows acidosis. I mean, that's just what it shows. Location. It can be anywhere. It can be your feet, it can be your fingers, it can be your liver swelling, your heart swelling, everything swells. And it all shows acidosis when you see that swelling. Especially the small one. And you can have restricted lymph flow out of the shoulders here. This gets so tight and stiff, you can get numbness and tingling down your fingers, restricted nerve, lymph, and hopefully not blood flow. That's why your blood's a little deeper, veins, but still, this is all serious stuff when you get into these things. I have dark color in the area between upper lips and the nose that is always the same. My lips are navy color too, especially when I feel a little cold from the winter outside. I am very sensitive to the cold, even in the summer evenings. Well, I would definitely look at my thyroid for that. I would take a look at the thyroid, the pituitary, get up in the head and clean it up, enhance the thyroid, do your basal temperatures under the arm to see if your thyroid is giving you enough body temperature. That would be something I would look at, and it doesn't sound like it's happening, so your metabolism would probably be slow. And so you'd want to look at that. My belly is very big and very bloated, but not strong. So a bloated belly could mean prolapsing of the bowels. It just could be belly fat from adrenal weaknesses, not cortisol, but adrenal weaknesses, incomplete sugar metabolisms, too much refined sugars or complex sugars with low sugar metabolism, which would be the adrenals, can do that. The bloating could be just your diet combining wrong food, creating putrefaction or fermentation, or you've got sulfur in there and you're seeing the gassy, bloaty effects of sulfur accumulation in the bowel walls. I am 1.60 something tall, COM tall, and 52 kilos weight. It looks as it is filled with liquids. I didn't get that. Cannot breathe completely with diaphragm because of this discomfort. Ooh. Okay. So now you're starting to lead us into a journey here of systemic edema. It's one thing to have the hands and feet swell a little bit. It's another thing to have the pericardium and the lungs swell. Your heart swells, that's congestive heart failure, and your lungs, pulmonary edema. No. Wrong. Your kidneys are in trouble, honey. You got to go after your kidneys and adrenal glands and get your kidneys filtering again. This is a must-do because this can give you serious problems. Congested. A lot of people die from CHF, and pulmonary edema and stuff. Lungs collapse, everything else. So you want to be real careful what's going on here. Whenever you see swelling in the body, you know immediately it's acidosis. You see that a lot of times when you exercise and you're not filtering. And then you start to see the edema the next day and stuff. Cannot breathe. That's not good. I have a sensation that sometimes I don't urinate as I usually do. See what I'm saying? You're all swollen down there. You're swollen down there. You're swollen all over the place, it sounds like. So fruits, berries, and melons with occasional salad. Get after your kidneys, adrenals. Get on the herbs. Get on the 14-week protocol or have us make you one. Whatever it takes. But these symptoms can be very, very devastating to you. It can land you in the hospital for sure. I urinate at least twice during the night with a liter of urine. Wow. But there are nights that I urinate only a quarter of this amount when I have had the same amount of liquids during the day. It's enough to say you're not filtering and you're retaining as much as whatever it is. It doesn't, you can look at input and output, but the bottom line is you're edemic. You're edemic because you're acidic. You're acidic because your lymph is stagnation. You have stagnation in your lymphatic system. You have stagnation in your lymphatic system because your kidneys and adrenals are down. And chances are these are genetic passes in today's world. But off proteins. You want to fill up with more edema, eat more protein. Eat more acid-forming foods and you'll have more edema. I have sharp back pain like knives when I cough, or even when I try to do diaphragmatic breathing. You know what? Still force that. Get that breathing in. Get your kidneys. And if you have to, I'm surprised you didn't get a little Lasix or something. You want to hit the kidney formulas fairly hard because there are a lot of, like corn silk and stuff like this, are diaphoretics. You want to get up there or have your medical doctor give you some Lasix or something just to give you a little break while you're hitting the fruits, berries, and melons. And by the way, I wouldn't juice them. You don't want to do juices too much right now because you could retain a lot of fluids. Quiet. And that wouldn't be good. That would not be good. I try massage daily at home, my back, but at the left side in the middle, I do have much pain. Well, you've got to work your neurolymphatic points and get your kidneys filtering because it's the only way you're going to drain that lymph down each side of the spine is get your kidneys filtering. That might be one way to tell which kidney isn't filtering over another one to see which side of your back isn't responding when your kidneys are filtering. I have pain in the lower legs during the night. Well, you probably have some disc problems, from all this. Remember, anywhere from L3 to on down is up for grabs here with the kidneys and adrenals. So you can deteriorate those, you can compress those, you can herniate those, you can go on down the line here. It doesn't have to have swelling. No swelling in the ankles. That's good. Sounds like it's more upper body. In my last ultrasound, the doctor said I have an infection in all the urinary tract from the bladder to the inside walls of the kidneys. Well, it's amazing that he can see infection, but what is that? It's stagnant lymph, honey. That's all infection is stagnation of lymph. When you talk about infectious, you're talking about acids, and you're talking about the protein side of life, and bop, on down that road. In my last ultrasound, the walls were thickened. What does that tell you? When the walls of your tissues are hypertrophied, when your tissues are hypertrophied or enlarged and thickened, that's all edemic. That's all lymph stagnation within those tissues. Well, it's going to be systemic one way or another, and it points to kidney filtration problems. Often I have a sensation that I cannot breathe, as if my nostrils are not open completely. Well, you're swelling. This is serious stuff. I can't even tell you enough, buddy. During this time, I feel a kind of weight or a bitter sensation at the center of the chest. I have done urine tests, and they are okay, except that there is a lot of mucus. You know what's funny? She's reading us just what's going on, and yet a medical doctor can't understand this. Woo! And yet all you guys can. That's a problem. It's a problem with the layperson can understand a lot more about the body than someone that went to med school. Give me a friggin' break. See what's wrong with this planet? Yeah. So, turning all this around ought to be interesting. I have checked my heart and all. See, you're checking the wrong stuff. You're checking the wrong stuff. If you're spending all this money at medical doctors, why don't you get a picture of your eyes, sweetheart? Take a look at your eyes. There's your best x-ray you can do systemic-wise. And you already know what the symptoms are. Edema, swelling. There's only one side of chemistry that makes you edemic like that. Really, you can safely sit your butt right down on the acid side if you can stand for too long. I mean, this is just what's going on with you. It's easy to tell. Only one doctor once said that I had collected water in my pericardium. Oh my God. And I repeated the ultrasound alphabet with another doc, and all was okay according to him. Oh, really? You see the swelling, you feel the swelling, you feel the pain. I don't care. You feel it. It's real. It's reality. And if another doc says not, who's wrong? Well, it ain't you, because you're the experiencer of the problem. You and me going to them if you didn't have the problem. But that's the problem with them. They think a lot of times problems like this is with you. And it's like, this is serious stuff. And this is why people fall dead when they walk outside of their offices sometimes, because they're not looking at truth and reality. A little blood pressure here, a little anal check here, you're okay. Really? I tried to walk close to the home once, but came back immediately because I could not breathe properly. You got to fix this, sweetheart. This is serious stuff. And I would have a counselor help you, or you got to focus in on the right protocol. Get on the 14-week protocol designed to help this, and get on your fruits, berries, and melons, and wouldn't juice them, eat them. You got to fix this. Was scared, anxious, and feeling like a walking balloon because of my bloated belly. I have a very large dark circle under my eyes. Kidney failure. My vision is weaker and weaker, and when there are vertical lines, I see them as shaking, and I have eye migraines, especially on the left eye. There's only one way, honey, to fix this. Drive your car into Wellville, and that is get your butt going on this program. That's all I can tell you. Can't tell you too much, because that's what you have to do. You're in trouble, and I mean trouble, and you got to fix this. Like Scleroderma, this will take you out. This is very serious stuff, guys. And they got a world out there that doesn't seem to recognize the seriousness of some of this stuff. And you got to recognize it, because you're the one that goes down with this. These people just spout it off. It's just information to them. But it's your life to you. So, I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into our site. You guys are the bestest and the mostest of the mostest. You've done well. You've helped so many people. I'm proud of each and every one of you. Keep it up. I love to see you going into business. A lot of you are going into your businesses. You're doing well and you're helping others. We're hearing the feedback. It's amazing. And some real cool things are coming. You guys are going to be a part of a real cool movement. So it's exciting. I love you. Till the next vid, keep it up. Keep your awareness in the now. And be strong. Don't let anyone take you down. Love ya.